What's up, family? Gerald the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.
What's up, good people? BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcasts on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Back on the Bossman Show here with Duane Simpkins, American Eagles here out of the Patriot League. Coach, good having the show, man, up there in D.C. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, Coach, I want to ask you the first question I want to ask you, man, is I like to ask guys this who are in the coach feel like you are, man. What point in your career of playing ball and been around the game of basketball do you want to get into coaching? Like, what was that trigger for you to want to get into coaching?
Probably for me, man, it was through some of the great coaches that I've had in the past, Morgan Wooten, who was Hall of Fame high school coach, winningest high school coach of all time, Hall of Famer. He was more than just a coach. He was also a big time teacher, not just a game of basketball, but a game of life. And then having Gary Williams, another Hall of Fame coach who coached me at the University of Maryland. Those experiences that I had with them, I think, planted some seeds in me. But quite honestly, when I came out and I was done playing, as I was concluding playing, my first thought was to get into sports broadcasting. That's something that I always wanted to do. And I dibbled and dabbled in that. I thought I was pretty solid at it. But there was nothing like, it didn't get my juices flowing, man, like being in the action. I think being a coach is just an extension of being a player from back in the day and everything, man. Every single day you got to win, you got to lose. That's kind of what precipitated to me for me, man. And then obviously working with young people, man, and getting a chance at this particular point in their life and their journey of becoming a man, I think this period of time is really instrumental in terms of helping them develop to be the best possible human beings that they can be, best students that they can be, and potential husbands for the future.
No doubt, Coach. And you know what? It's funny you say that, Coach, because about 2 days ago, I was on a bench with a team here, and I hadn't felt that winning juices in a long time. I was honorary coach for the day, right? And I was doing stats and charting and stuff, going to my dad's a coach too. So I was doing that, and I got told, I said, I ain't felt this buzz like this. I was in college playing myself. And so,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so being back on the bench and we're down by 18, coach came back and won in overtime. So it was one of them games. I hadn't felt that juice in over
Nah,
16 years. So
it's
just
an exhilarating
that
feeling,
one
man.
day been already coach, man. Like, I know what you mean by that, because on the broadcast side, like, it's cool and all. I don't win or lose, but you don't have that same juice when we actually in action every night there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ain't nothing like it, man.
No doubt, coach. And I ask you, man, for you, like, what are the pillars of your program? Like, what are the kind of pillars you build your program on, and what kind of young man you want to have these qualities like integrity and accountability? What kind of things do you want when a guy wants to play for American? What do you want them to be about?
Yeah, our four core values are character, work ethic, toughness, and humility. We go out and we evaluate prospects, and we're evaluating all four of those things. You can be really, really talented, and you check three of those four boxes, it's not going to work. You got to check all four of them, and it's not just the prospect themselves; it's also their families. I tell people all the time, man, that talk about recruiting and everything. I'm like, we're evaluating the parents and those people who are in their circle as well, because the character of those people are also going to be who's coming to our campus when that young man is in our program. And if it's all about little Jimmy and not the team and having no understanding of where he fits in our program, it's not going to work. So we try to do as much due diligence as possible in identifying those things through the recruiting process. And it's not just talking directly with the prospect; it's talking with the family, it's talking with the high school coach, the AAU coach. If you get a chance to go to the school, grabbing a janitor, people who are around the program, around the school, talking to teachers, and getting an in-depth view into who that prospect really is.
Coach Simpkins, in this world that we live in, I know you got some fresh freshmen on your roster. So talk about how important it is to still recruit young freshman players despite this thing called basketball to be old and stay older, but also having young men in the pipeline who you can develop and really have to replace the older guys in the program, because I know this how it is in our game. That's like, hey, we want to always stay old, but you have some freshmen on your roster you can develop and really mold it into your culture even more.
Yeah. If I were at a, Power 4, Power 5 school or whatever, I would probably adopt a different way of thinking. But here in the Patriot League, and specifically here at American, we got a quality education, quality school here for young men to get an education. And those young men and their families are not committing to American because they're seeking NIL opportunities. We'll have an opportunity to do some of those things, but they're not making a decision solely on the dollars. So for me, in the longevity of our program, I'm looking long term is, right now, like we got 6 freshmen coming in next year. Like, we're gonna be really, really young next year, but they're talented. And I'm really big on development. For me, ideally, we'll take some lumps next year. We'll win some games, we'll lose some games, but the following year, if we can keep this core group intact, I think we can be really, really good. So, for us here at American, man, like, it's not so much of recruiting transfers. If that opportunity arises and we need it, so be it. But I'm in year 2 right now of a 5-year contract, and I want to think long term and big picture with this.
100%, coach. And also, like you said, coach, you mentioned something very well, very important, rather, that in this environment, you got to really know who the guy is, leadership-wise, what his end game is, his agenda is, because, it's so much stuff out there. When you and I played, it wasn't social media out there. You got some people pulling at you, telling you should be doing this, doing that. And so taking that patient approach and having young men buy in, hey, we're here to develop you as a young man to play, get you stronger on and off the floor, and just trust the process I don't use the six, but trust the process that we're going to be all right, we're going to be good. So I think you're doing a hell of a job with that, because this environment is always immediate gratification. Like, we just want to win today, not have a true program per se.
Yeah. And I'm really fortunate, man. I got a great administration who is in alignment with my vision long term for the program. And again, this is so new to us, the whole NIL landscape. This is something that, maybe a year or two from now is different, right? Because we got some really talented freshmen, and, they one or two of them plays well against Ohio State or whoever, and Ohio State's coming with a big bag of money, and we'll have to make adjustments. But until that time, this is kind of the model that we're going to follow.
And coach, 14-10 on the year so far, 8-1 at home, 8-3 in the Patriot League. A tough league you're in, man. I know Matt Langle very, very well. He's always Colgate, always a tough character to play those guys, man. But talk about the Patriot League as a league, man, and how tough it is, and how those people just really watched the quality of basketball in your league, because it's very, very tough every night.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you ask any coach in any league, they're going to say their league is really, really tough and everything. But, us specifically, man, like you mentioned, Matt Langle at Colgate, he's been the standard bearer in our league. For the last 5 years, they won the championship, multiple NCAA tournament appearances. Matt's done a hell of a job with his program. But even within our league, man, we've got so many really, really good coaches. And each and every night, it's something a little bit different. Some are going to play more inside out. Some are going to play more outside in. Some are going to be in transition a little bit more. Some are going to double the post. So each and every night, man, against each team, you're going to have to, as a coach, you're going to have to adjust and prepare your team accordingly. And then up and down rosters, man, like everybody's got, 2 or 3 players that can really change the game. We got several 7-footers in our league that are really talented. A couple of them that stretch the court and shoot 3. We've got one in Matt Rogers. He's not a 7-footer, but 6'9", almost 6'10", who's shooting the ball, at almost a 50% clip from 3, 55% from 2. So each and every night, man, you're going to have some really good players and going against really good coaches.
No doubt. And coach, when you put together your non-league schedule, did you put together with the idea of trying to find different styles that you will see in conference play, because you want to be this time of year, you've seen everything. You've seen how to guard these different actions, what people are running. So was that kind of your process, trying to find different styles of play in the non-league play to show your team what they'll see come Patriot League time?
Yeah, there's some thought with that. Obviously, sometimes some things are unavoidable. We gotta bring a certain amount of money for our program and for our athletic department. And do I want to go play Carolina? No. We're not going to face another Carolina in our league, but it's a great experience for our guys. To go to places like that. But when you start to talk about some of the leagues that may be, say, a half a step or one step above us, A-10, going up against St. Joe's is really good, because it gives us a chance to go into a hostile environment, longer, more athletic players, and to kind of see where we stand. And more importantly, those games prepare us for Patriot League play, right? We know what it's like to be down 12 with 8 minutes to go on the road. Hey, they've got a really good shooter, scorer in Eric Reynolds. We got to make sure we do a good job on him. That's going to translate into our league as well. So, yeah, there's definitely some, conscious thoughts of how we construct our non-conference schedule. But, more important than anything, man, it's like, do the dates align? Hey, we need a game on December 1st. We need to get $85K for it, whatever the case may be. All these things kind of have to align themselves.
No doubt, Coach. You played some close games early already, and talk about that, because you really can't say we can do 6 minutes, 4-minute drills in practice, but it's not the same as with a live body and referees and different teams. So getting that experience now, playing some close games early in the year, as the games become more important through February into March, you can kind of coach and teach you. So next time they'll execute that free throw block out, that rotation, that close out, so you can win the game. Those little small things that are in the box score that affect winning.
Yeah, those things are huge, man. Like you say, you can kind of construct those things in practice and go over them, and just to have a foundation of what you want to do. But not until those lights are on and bullets are flying, so to speak, and the referee's on the court, do you actually get a chance to go through it. We had a double overtime loss to UMBC here at home. We had an overtime win against GW in the A-10 here at home. We were down 7 points with 34 seconds to go against Lehigh a week and a half ago. We, hit a buzzer beater. So, those experiences, man, they come organically, and they're really, really valuable for, the Patriot League championship game or playoff games. Like, our guys, they know what it's like to be in that situation in a game versus just practice.
No doubt. And also, coach, you're doing a good job sharing the basketball. Yeah, multiple guys in double figures. So talk about how important it is to have optionality offensively so teams can just key in on one person. They can just roll the defense to one guy. Yeah, other guys can score the ball confidently and then sharing the sugar per se. And everybody getting involved, which we do. You and I both know from playing the ball. The ball has energy. If you get the ball, I'm going to defend harder than the fullback. Get the ball. It's just human nature. It should be that way. It's human nature.
Yeah, no, we work a lot on ball handling, passing, shooting from an offensive perspective, and there aren't any guys on our roster, quite honestly, that we say, hey, no, you can't shoot, because you can't. We work on it every single day. Obviously, some guys shoot it better than others. Within our offense, those guys know where they're going to get their shots, and they know who's a better shooter. We get a kick out. You may want that guy who's shooting 48% to shoot that one, but if he's at 38 and he knows he's got a 45 right to him, he'll kick it for one more pass. But I think again, that goes to the humility that we talk about. One of the core values in our program is understanding what's not just a good shot, what's the great shot, and I think it plays out when you talk about scenarios like that.
100%. And also, you're doing a good job batting the basketball. 11 turnovers a game, which is good. It's only five and a half, but I know you probably won't get that lower, but at least they ain't live ball turnovers. Hopefully not. You can transition. So talk about how important it is to battle that basketball, not turning over so we can get shots, opportunity to crash the boys and rebound the ball and get back on defense and try to stop people.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, anytime you can get more shots than the other team, you give yourself a chance to win. So, limiting the other team on their offensive rebounding, you getting a couple yourself, but more importantly, just taking care of the basketball. We work on ball security drills every single day in practice. We know within the offense that there's certain things we don't do. We don't jump off of 1 foot. Everything's got to be off of 2 feet. We pick up with 2 hands, pass with the outside hand. Those things, they kind of, you work on them every single day since July. And, you hope and you hope that they take root and it stays with us. But like you say, our goal is to be less than 12 turnovers a game. We've done a pretty good job with that so far. And we just got to continue to do it. But it's huge, man. Anytime you can not throw the ball to the other team, especially those pick sixes where they just get steals and they get run out layups. Those, if you're gonna get a turnover, throw it out of bounds. Take a 5-second count, 3-second count. Like, let's get a chance to set our defense.
No doubt, 100%. And you know what, Coach? It's fun in the race you all have in the Patriot League. I know we're going to take it one game at a time, but it's fun to be in competition where it's a bunch of it at the top and go either way. And keeping your team to getting 1% better every day. So how keeping them focused, like on Lehigh today, tomorrow, then you got Lafayette on Monday. So about that process of keeping guys mentally not looking at the standings first, but just worrying about today's practice, today's walkthrough, and today's game.
It just comes through what you emphasize every day. And for us, it's like you just actually mentioned it. We just get 1% better every day. We focus on the process. We don't focus so much on the end result. Being a part again, Coach Wooten was really big in my life. And one of the big things that he was all about was, the results are going to take care of themselves. The process is the most important thing, and lose yourself in the process, for lack of a better term. And I think, I've got a great support staff. I've got a great staff, man. They echo those sentiments. It's one thing when the head coach says it, but it's not reinforced by the assistant coaches and the support staff. But we are all on the same page in terms of echoing that same sentiment and having that ethos throughout our program.
Now, Coach, let me ask you. I'm curious to ask you this question because you all kind of play with 1 day prep. So, how do you structure your practice week to try to, not overload the guys, trying to maybe get some in for that second team on the 1 day prep, or you just kind of focus on that first day and we'll worry about the other team on the off day in between?
That's a great question. We go Wednesdays and Saturdays. So, we play Wednesday on Thursday, especially this time of year, man. And we're in February now. We're not coming in on Thursday and doing a 2-hour practice. Thursday would be a recap film-wise of the Wednesday night's game. It'll be a slight introduction in terms of personnel into the upcoming game on Saturday. and we'll get out and we'll do some 5-on-0 stuff. We'll get up and down the court and some three-man weed type stuff, full court shooting, just to get the blood flowing, but not as much bone on bone. If it's probably no bone on bone, competing the day after that Wednesday game. Friday is going to be an abbreviated practice, but we are going to go bone on bone. We're going to get up and down. That practice is probably going to go, including stretching and everything, it's going to go an hour 25 minutes. And on that day as well, we'll dive into specifics of what their defense does and what their offense does and the things that are going to be key to us going into that game. And within that practice, we'll work on those fundamentals to attack that defense. If they're in a drop, we're going to work on pocket passes, corner empty. I call them corner empty pocket passes. Hey, this team's going to be a hard hedging team. Hey, how do we go against it? Are we going to kick it ahead? Are we going to have a quick throwback and try to dive the ball to the post? Hey, this team is a really good transition offensive team. Hey, we're not going to use 30 minutes working on transition, but within the flow of our offense, we got to hit on the fact that, hey, we got to sprint ourselves back and we got to load to the ball and stop the ball and things like that. So that's kind of a quick synopsis of what it looks like for us.
No doubt. And you can say, so at least you had those signs to prepare. But you know what, Coach, I also want to tell you, thank you for doing the show. It's fun to talk to you. It really is. I hope we're talking again in March after you win the Patriot League.
That'd be great.
So I hope we do it again in March, Coach. It was fun to chat with you. And when the next time we're in D.C., I know it's a tough trip for this time. Well, we can catch you, man, when we come up there, man. See you with your Wizards, man.
We would love to have you, man. Anytime. I appreciate the time, man, for you spending together and everything. And good luck on your travels up to D.C. tomorrow, man.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it so much, Coach. It was fun, man.
Absolutely. Take care of yourself.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
What's up, good people? BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online where the game starts. What's up, family? Jared the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Check The King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to The Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.